The long-recognized key to winning elections is to set the agenda, to find out which issue is going to get the most votes. Justin Trudeau is always talking about the Paris Accord, diversity, and others are saying there may be something else to winning this next election. Sabrina Maddeaux is a columnist with the National Post. She joins me right now because you wrote a column the other day that fascinated me. You're giving advice to Erin O'Toole. Tell us about that advice.
Yes, I said he has a once-in-a-generation opportunity to win over millennial voters, which historically have come out in favor of Justin Trudeau.
Absolutely, but Justin Trudeau's getting old. He's getting long in the tooth. His issues have been around for a long, long time. Are you saying that the millennial voters are not exactly woke?
I think they're not thrilled with his performance. He hasn't done a lot of what he said he would, such as things with electoral reform. When it comes to the housing crisis, where young Canadians can't afford homes without substantial help from their parents, he's failing them there. He's not addressing it.
Right. But tell me then about climate change, because we've had generations, probably your generation, has been taught in school that climate change is this huge impending disaster if we don't address it. The conceit is, of course, can you change climate? That's for another show. But are you suggesting that millennials will go for meat and potato issues such as jobs, healthcare, and housing, as opposed to woke issues such as diversity and climate change?
Well, I think young Canadians do believe climate change and diversity are important. They're not the only issues. And I think ultimately voters vote for their best interests. That's the reality. And they're interested in having a place to live.
But what about then, if you say it's in their best interest, what about the fact that Trudeau is giving everybody money? Not only his friends for hundreds of millions of dollars of contracts, but he is handing out money. And even the $5,000 that is being handed out to rebuild your house in environmentally friendly ways.
Well, not everybody, and that's the key. He's giving it to homeowners, he's giving it to boomers, and he's giving it to corporations that are still paying their CEOs crazy large salaries.
Right, and sometimes those salaries are paid for out of the taxpayers' money given to them for the shareholders.
Exactly. So we are very cognizant that he's wasting money, and he's doing it for all these other interest groups that are definitely not millennials.
So Sabrina, then, do you think that those issues that you've just pointed out are going to be the issues of the next election, or is it going to be something like image and who has a better hairstyle?
I think Trudeau's hair is old news. It's not even that great anymore after his months of quarantine. So I think housing, I think the national debt that is going to be paid for by millennials and Gen Z decades down the road, and perhaps even our children, those are going to be the big issues.
We'll have to find out. Sabrina, thanks very much.
Thanks, Stephen.
3 minutes. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, recently stood up in the House of Commons and prefaced his remarks by saying, "And we will only work from the facts," quote, unquote, and then proceeded to lie by saying Britain was in a horrible, horrible third wave, trying to show, in fact, that Canada was not the worst in the world. Britain, though, had vaccines. Canada did not. And this was not reported in the mainstream Canadian media, the media paid for by Justin Trudeau. All of which, I'm telling you, is that it's important to have this 3-minute interview. Please subscribe, ask your friends to subscribe, and press that PayPal thing so we can continue on to bring you the news you otherwise might not know.